You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Live across Wisconsin on Civic Media, you're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, powered by Up North News. Now, from our Lake Wissota studio, here is the founding editor of Up North News, Pat Kreitlow.
Well, hey there, Wisconsin. Good morning. It is Friday, September 12th, 2025. It is another beautiful morning to have you here up north, live from Lake Wissota, from wherever you're listening across the Civic Media Radio Network. And if you're listening instead as a podcast or through the website or watching us on social media, that counts just as much. We love having all of you here to wrap up the work week. I got a question for you, and it's actually not about last night's Packer game. It's, would you like to go to at least one more Milwaukee Brewers game? Stick around. The key word for Free Ticket Friday is coming up in less than 15 minutes. Coming up on the program today, President Trump finally approves disaster relief for flash flood victims in southeast Wisconsin, but only after telling another lie about the 2020 election. We'll talk to Courier Newsroom's Keya Vakil at 6:22 about the ongoing effort to tone down the violent rhetoric in the wake of this week's political violence. We'll ask former U.S. Attorney Jim Santel at 7:22 to make it make sense. The same U.S. Supreme Court that says race cannot be a consideration for college admissions says race can be an issue in deciding whether law enforcement can pull over, harass, or even detain people they only suspect of not being citizens. We'll ask journalists Mark Jacob and Jennifer Schulze at 7:35 about the coverage of the Charlie Kirk murder, especially the double standard that accompanies the sane washing taking place about Kirk's place in American political discourse. Just after 8 a.m., we're going to ask Dr. Kristen Lyerly about not a doctor, Robert Kennedy Jr., and the misinformation he's spreading about autism and Tylenol. And Mike Clemens will help us review last night's Packers win over Washington, 27-18. A great game, but comes with at least one noteworthy injury as well. Along the way, of course, you can follow us in the comment sections on Facebook and YouTube for Up North News or for Civic Media. Put something there, a question or a comment. We may pop it up on screen and respond to it. And of course, the best way to get in touch with us is through the Civic Media app, and there that's got a text feature, and it also has a voice note feature where you can just hit voice note and record us a little message. And again, as always, if you heard everything there and you know you're not going to get to it this morning, catch it over the weekend by subscribing to us as a podcast. Head over to Spotify. And as long as you're online at that point, you should also sign up for our Up North News newsletters. There's a daily one that our new newsletter editor, Ellie, is putting together, and then a Sunday morning one with a focus on Wisconsin politics. Ellie's newsletter today includes stories on Wisconsin breweries and beer gardens that welcome dogs, if you want to take your pup for a pint, and 9 of Wisconsin's prettiest autumn drives. It is definitely time to start thinking about where you want to go on the weekend if you get some free time and maybe want to do a little road tripping. So again, sign up for that in our newsletter over at upnorthnewswi.com. Down to Madison we go. In Studio A2, we find Parker Olson, who, like a lot of us, stayed up a little bit past our bedtime, but by and large, it was worth it, Mr. Olson. Would you agree?
Oh, I would definitely agree. It was a good cause, supporting the Packers. It always is a good cause. You have to support your Packers. This is why we're fans, Pat.
Your support can sometimes get to be a little emotional, and that's why I would like to have, for everybody's benefit, a dramatic reinterpretation. If you could go back in time about 5-6 minutes or so, when you heard off air that when Jayden Reed went down with that injury in the end zone, you did not know until 5 minutes ago he broke his collarbone.
No, I didn't. I was unaware. I'm still sad. This is not good. But we don't have a wide receiver. We don't have wide receiver one. We don't have so it doesn't. I don't think it matters that much for the team, but it is obviously nice. I like Jayden Reed.
Jayden Reed's great,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I was going to say the hero of the game, the surprise of the game, the breakout of the game, tight end Tucker Kraft.
Okay.
Holy cow! He's good.
Tucker Kraft is quite possibly my favorite football player of all time.
Hmm.
he he just like kind of epitomizes what I think of football, like good football. Because when I think football, I think very Midwestern. I think like down and dirty, run the ball, tight end, big tight ends blocking, but he can catch too, which is really
Hmm.
cool. And he's just so fun. Isn't he awesome? Oh my god.
He is, and the thing is, and again, I'm not doing fantasy football this year. I've done it in the past, so
Yeah.
I know that one of the difficult things is it's one thing to have your quarterback and who's going to be your wide receiver, who's going to be your running back.
Yeah.
Tight ends are a little tougher deal because they're a
Yes.
combination of players,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
And if you get the maybe two, maybe three good ones on the team, you're doing okay, but beyond that, it's tough. So anybody who has Tucker Kraft and then started him yesterday,
Yes.
they're happy campers because he had quite the breakout performance.
Unlike I, who started Matthew Golden, who had a whopping
Oh,
1.5 points. I'm
yeah.
happy I drafted him. I probably shouldn't be starting him though.
It was. I want to say it was a good thing that Jordan Love tried to go deep as often as he did. I mean, he's got it. He's got a cannon.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of them weren't connecting. But at no point was I
Close.
looking going, oh, he's off the mark or the receivers are off the mark.
Yeah.
There was some good pass defense by Washington last night.
Yeah, that's true too. Packers defense though was absolutely incredible. They haven't given up 100 yards total yet,
No.
rushing. I think it
Yeah.
was 51 to the Lions and 46 last night to the Commanders.
Mhm.
And Keyshawn Nixon had 5 pass breakups last night. That's ridiculous.
Yes. Yep. And the Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
He's really good. He was surprisingly good last year.
Yeah.
His first year as a starter, and so it actually was a pretty big deal that the pass rush kept his numbers unusually low.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, it all finished with a 27-18 win. We'll have more to say about it throughout the course of the morning here. But the other thing to know is that the Packers now, they will not be playing this Sunday, obviously. So get out and about if you got to do anything, because the Packers now have 9 days off before the next game.
The mini bye.
It'll be Sunday, September 21st at Cleveland, and a noon start. And you can hear it across several Civic Media radio stations.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
My uncle is a Browns fan.
Oh, well,
that'll be fun.
Will you watch the game together?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. You've also got the Wisconsin Badgers football team in Alabama for the first time playing tomorrow. Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9 on Civic Media stations in Richland Center, Amory, Wisconsin Rapids, and Ripon. And I heard Mike Clemens saying before, it's been a long time since the Badgers beat Alabama, 1928. Well, I looked it up, and I mean, the teams have only played twice before. There was the first game in Madison, 1928. The Badgers win 15-0, and the other was in 2015 at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, when Alabama beat Wisconsin 35-17. So not a deep history.
No, which is, you know what? That's what I want, though. That this shouldn't be a game that happens very often.
Yeah, especially when the Badgers are like big time underdogs, but that could make the game that much more fun to watch and or listen to.
That's true.
And the Brewers were off yesterday. They will be taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Coverage begins tonight at 6:35 on stations in Richland Center, Oshkosh, Racine, Kenosha, Park Falls, and Hayward. So what do you say we just get to that free ticket Friday keyword right about now?
That's a good catch. We should do that.
All right. So the deal on Free Ticket Friday is pretty simple. Use that Civic Media app, call up one of the stations where you hear the show, use the text feature, text us a keyword, and then do it again throughout the course of the day, different keywords on different shows. And then among all those statewide entries, one will be plucked out to win 4 great seats to a specific Brewers game. For today, the tickets are for the game next Thursday night against the Anaheim Angels. All right. So you got to be able to go to that game next Thursday night. You got to be able to get and use electronic tickets on your phone. And if that all applies to you, the keyword until 9 o'clock this morning is catch, 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 like catch a ball. Catch is the keyword between now and 9. You can start texting that in and then listen to more keywords throughout the course of the day for your chance to win on this Free Ticket Friday. Okay, as mentioned, President Donald Trump was very full of himself yesterday, putting out word on his tiny social media account that he had graciously agreed to something like $30 million in emergency disaster relief for flash flood victims in southeast Wisconsin. That's a good thing. It provides certainty for people who have been putting off getting bids and making plans for fixing the damage because thousands of homes were affected by the flash flooding. But of course, he couldn't just leave it at that. It included a line in his tweet about, that Wisconsin, we won big there in 2016, 2020, and 2024, and I'm happy to deliver for the state of Wisconsin. You didn't win in 2020. Again, he's still putting the big lie out there. But at least the funding has been okay. Another note that I wanted to pass along actually comes out of Brazil, where a panel of Supreme Court justices sentenced the former president, Jair Bolsonaro, to 27 years in prison Thursday after convicting him of attempting a coup to remain in office despite his 2022 electoral defeat. Bolsonaro was an army captain who became the country's first right-wing president and has always denied any wrongdoing. He can try to appeal the ruling of the 5 justices to all 11 justices. He's currently under house arrest. Bolsonaro was convicted on charges of attempting to use the military to kill his rival who defeated him in that 2022 election. That would be the current president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Bolsonaro's co-conspirators, 3 generals and an admiral, were also sentenced for their roles. So because Bolsonaro was a right-winger who would use the military for personal power, you can see where this is going with our own president who attempted a coup, right? Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the administration, quote, will respond accordingly to this witch hunt. And Trump has already applied a 50% tariff on imported Brazilian goods, which it said was in reaction to the process against Bolsonaro. So they're basically admitting that your prices are going to go up for any Brazilian goods for personal and political spite. Is this some abstract thing for Wisconsin? Not if you grow soybeans or have anything to do with a bunch of other exports, because Trump's made-up trade war with China means, as we learned yesterday from Sean O'Malley talking about your money in the markets, China has not yet placed a single order for U.S. soybeans this season. They bought billions of dollars worth last year. Where's China going for those soybeans? Yeah, Brazil. One of the 4 justices who voted to convict yesterday said Bolsonaro was the instigator, the leader of an organization that orchestrated every possible move to maintain or seize power. Don't doubt for a moment that their inspiration came from watching Trump less than 2 years earlier orchestrate and instigate an attempted coup with fake electors, undermining election credibility, trying to strong-arm state officials to falsify election results, flood the courts with meritless lawsuits, and when all that failed, summon a mob, that included Derek Van Orden, and whip it into a violent frenzy. It fell short. Bolsonaro came a little bit closer. Now, in the good old days, you could understandably say, well, the Brazil case is different in that he plotted to kill his opponent, except that Trump has now appointed Supreme Court justices who were literally asking if he could use SEAL Team 6 to kill an opponent, and they answered, sure, why not, so long as he feels it's part of his official duties. So the lesson to draw is simple. Voters can restore a democracy and defeat authoritarians, but expect resistance again. And so this time be ready to defend our government and our democracy with real consequences for anyone who tries to plot the next coup against our nation. I'm Pat Kreitlow. You're up north.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
.622 now on this Friday morning, and Courier Newsroom's national political editor Keya Vakil is with us now. Keya, how are you today?
I'm all right, Pat.
as can be expected, basically,
Yeah.
right?
My brain's in about 11 million different places, but, doing all right.
Yeah. For folks that don't follow regularly, Keya is, as national political editor, he sees a lot of the copy that's written and the videos that are put out by all of the various state-based outlets of Courier Newsroom. Up North News is one of them. And so not only is he seeing all of the events of the week through a state lens, but he's seen multiple versions of them. And Keya, I know one of the themes that we have talked about behind the scenes here is about toning down the rhetoric, which, yes, in Wisconsin, we've acknowledged is a little tougher because of the language of Congressman Derek Van Orden. But setting that aside, I feel like by and large, much of the nation remains unified behind the notion of don't take an already volatile situation and make it worse with politics right now.
Yeah, I think if you went out and surveyed 100 people in person, you'd probably get 80-90% agreement on that. I think the problem is like online is a different story because the social media algorithms that have been created to just bring out the worst in people,
Yeah.
and then amplify that to everyone, um, really suggest otherwise. They suggest that everyone in the whole country on the right and even some on the left are frothing at the mouth right now and are celebrating this and are jazzed and think, by celebrating this, we mean, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, obviously. And
Right.
it's, I tend to think, this is an instance where the reaction online is not at all mirrored by what most people believe, in their day-to-day life and people who aren't terminally online. But yeah, I think we've seen most elected officials, certainly every Democratic elected official I've seen has condemned this and, called for toning down the rhetoric and no political violence. I've seen a lot of Republicans do the same. Not all. We have a man in the White House who has already tried to pin this on the radical left, even though we have literally no information about who the shooter is. Regardless, assassinating someone for their political beliefs is not a thing that we want to see happen in the U.S. I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk on much of anything, maybe not anything at all. But I made the mistake of watching the video, and it was horrific. And it does not lead anywhere good to have these sorts of things happen to conservatives, liberals, anyone, frankly. And to have the handful of lawmakers or activists or just fringe accounts online fueling hate and division and calling for war or revenge is terrifying. Derek Van Orden, you mentioned, he's been one of the more egregious ones I've seen. And we're reporters. He clearly does not like us. He does not like Democrats. He does not like trans people. There's a whole lot of people he doesn't like, and he's tried to blame this on. And there's one person who deserves blame, and it's the person who shot Charlie Kirk. And it's just a really sad state of affairs that this is where we are. Just like it was sad when Melissa Horton got killed in Minnesota a couple months ago, and Governor Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, the governor's residence was firebombed in the spring, and it's a little terrifying. It feels like we're going through a period of time where political violence is normalized, and again, I agree with Charlie Kirk on nothing. He did not deserve to get shot in the neck and get killed that way. No one deserves that. And
No.
It's just terrifying that that's where we are as a body politic right now.
I'm sure I'm going to bring this up in just over an hour with our week in review panel when we talk about media coverage. But one thing I want to put out there, social media wise, and we refer to Twitter, now X, as a dumpster fire, and so much of social media can be garbage. But I have always said from the very beginning that these sites, YouTube and others, have to and must do a better job of guarding against graphic footage being shared so readily. That was my first exposure to it, was what's called the auto roll feature, so that as you're scrolling down through your feed, there's the video right there, not an option, not a warning screen or anything like that. And I hear these companies say, well, we're too big. We can't possibly do that. Well, then there's something wrong here that needs to be fixed. I know people like instant gratification on media, but our whole role as journalists, is in part gatekeeper to say this is too graphic to share, for example. And so I'm using up your time on my soapbox, but when you talked about seeing it, same here with given no option one way or the other.
Yeah, and I wish I hadn't seen it. I've replayed it in my head a lot of times today. It's not the first clip of someone being killed I've seen on X, unfortunately. There's no shortage of those clips over the last several years. They're all horrifying. Every one of them feels like it chips away at our humanity a little bit. Whether it's someone I like or agree with or know or don't know, it's all horrifying. And yeah, I think these companies just in every single way are just catastrophically responsible for a lot of where we're at politically. A lot of politicians are as well. But, I think the way we just treat human life with such callous disregard at this point, a lot of it can be tied to social media and both what it incentivizes and then what it amplifies to people, especially in moments like this.
It really, again, comes down to something that we've been talking about since the start of Courier Newsroom and Up North News, and that is looking for those trusted sources, fact-based, credible, and frankly, folks who aren't going to put that kind of stuff right in front of you. There are other ways to inform without having to use shock value, and we are very fortunate to have you amongst others as our editors to keep us on the straight and normal for that path. Keya Vakil, Courier Newsroom's national political editor. Thanks for the visit. I hope you have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too, Pat.
Back with today's history lesson in just a moment. You're Up North.
Midnight at the Oasis. Send your camel to bed.
There's admittedly not a lot of female artists that fit right there on the yacht rock playlist, but Maria Moldauer, right there with something like How Smooth is Midnight at the Oasis. Maria Moldauer has a birthday today. She turns 83 years old today. Welcome to today's history lesson on a Yacht Rock Friday, where we cannot set sail as the Kreitlow Yacht Rock pontoon does every Friday here on A Sea of Sarcasm without Greg Bach joining us as well. Mr. Bach, good morning.
Hello, everybody. I'm in charge of Poop Deck.
How are you? Did you stay up late for the whole game?
I stayed up late for none of the game. I went to bed very early because yesterday was a very long day, and then I came home and one of the I'll bring it up again. One of the things about using the CPAP now is when you do fall asleep on the couch, it's no longer like, oh God. It's like, no, I'm actually just really tired. I need to go to bed.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
you got to get that rest where you can. And I'm always thankful when the Packers get comfortably to a point, as they did early in the fourth quarter, where it's like, all right, this is looking good. And if they blow this, I don't want to be awake to watch it anyway. I'll just see it in the morning. So it worked out all right. Yeah. Let's see. Today's history lesson includes the Constitutional Convention. This day in 1787 is when Delegate George Mason suggested adding a Bill of Rights to the Constitution, but the motion was defeated. They later became the first 10 amendments to the Constitution 4 years later. All right, yes, Mr. Bond.
I was going to say, Pat, really quick, fun fact.
Yes.
The word amendment comes from the word amend, which means to change, which means you can change the Constitution if you wanted to. I'm just putting that out there. Fun fact, English.
Yes, we really could. Well-regulated militia. Yeah, okay. So we're getting to the part of the history lesson now here in mid-September with a lot of TV premieres. And, you don't have the catchy theme song so much as you do, or did back in the olden days, like this iconic theme from a show that premiered on NBC this day in 1959. Bonanza premiered on September 12th, 1959. It was the first regularly scheduled TV program presented in color. And again, we make so much of this about generations, but
hold on. Don't get that look, Parker, looking off into the middle distance. Like,
that's the one.
What did you have? Did you just look at drawings upon the screen back in the day? How did you take in your television entertainment?
They must have had to read the newspaper to be entertained.
Nobody tell Parker about the days when only radio was the medium of entertainment.
Yes, and then we went from black and white to color, but we see that still in, you just talked about watching Hogan's Heroes, and the first season was in black and white. The first season of Gilligan's Island was in black and white, so you can always see where the dividing line is for all these. Why the Flintstones were in black and white initially, I don't know. That one doesn't seem to make sense to me. But
they ran out of pencils.
Yes. Bonanza, anyway, was set in the 1860s and centered on the wealthy Cartwright family who lived in the vicinity of Virginia City, Nevada, bordering Lake Tahoe. You probably know it better as Yellowstone. They just added more sex and violence later.
It's the Duttons before the Duttons. So Bonanza is another Yellowstone prequel series.
Yes, that Taylor Sheridan. I mean, knew what he was doing. You know, his
60-year-old white man around the country like, I knew it.
I can't see Haas and Little Joe saying, take him to the train station. It just doesn't work that way. Another premiere. Let's move up to 1966. This was another NBC premiere and a theme everybody knows.
Here we come. Walking down the street, we get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the monkeys.
So there was the 4 actors chosen to portray a pop band based on the Beatles. Mm-hmm. While the Monkees are a fictional band, they did become very real and eventually played on their own recordings, but not in the beginning. It was studio musicians prior to that.
And legendary songwriters writing for them too, including Neil Sedaka, Carole King, Neil Diamond.
Yes.
And fun fact, and I mentioned this before, it was the first concert I ever went to in 1986 for the Monkees' 20th anniversary tour.
Ooh.
With a little-known artist, up and coming. He's kind of faded into the distance as in the past 10 years. Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, never heard of him.
Yeah.
Alicia puts on YouTube, and Little Joe would later go on to become Pa Ingalls. Yes.
He's just really stuck in that old day. He's just cast me in anything in the 19th century. That's my sweet spot.
Yep. Hey, it worked. One more premiere to talk about. Taxi premiered on ABC this day in 1978. Oh, I struck a nerve with Greg.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is this an "Oh, I love Taxi" or an "Oh, I feel old"?
Are we going to play the theme?
I didn't cue it up. No, sorry.
That's fine. Okay. I believe that Taxi has the greatest theme song ever. Barney Miller is great.
Oh,
great...
no! Oh, we had this fight last year, Greg. Oh, I'm sorry. Taxi had the worst TV theme ever. There was nothing about it that sounded like a comedy. It was like you were expecting, the cast of some other serious drama show to come in. Now here's where Greg tells me I'm wrong. Yeah.
Like The Bear or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why you just can't find nuance in things and art and the fact that a New York taxi cab driver in the 70s, that was hard work, man.
It was.
That was hard work. And then you came to your little space and you found joy and levity, but you still had to go back into the cold world and deal with people. I think that theme song is perfect.
I now have the theme song if we would like.
Bring it. I would make a request.
Okay. Go for it. Yep. Yes.
Yep. No. Sorry. I didn't know this video was going to be oh my God, why is it telling me that? Okay, come on.
Yeah, technical difficulties. I love it. I don't miss this part. Yes.
There you go. It's a recorder.
Wait for it. Wait for the lo-fi 70s funk to kick in.
Yes.
Come on.
I mean, this is great for on the yacht, but a 70s taxi cab, it didn't do it for me. But
oh man,
If it
I like the range of opinions on this show.
less recorder and you're good with it, Pat.
Parker, mute your mic. No one wants you. No one wants you here for this. I don't need 2 against 1.
All right,
right
guys.
now. I
Well,
just
you
need
guys have fun playing this music yourself. I'm out of here.
Come back, Parker. We miss you already.
On this day in 1962, President Kennedy delivered at Rice University the infamous "We Choose to Go to the Moon" speech. Nailed that one by 1969. Let's see. This is the anniversary of the birth of Barry White, born this day in 1944. See, now, Greg will do a lot of Michael McDonald impressions. I didn't know if you were going to go down for Barry or not and go get that.
I feel like unless you can really nail that voice, anything less than Pete Barry White is disrespectful.
But
meanwhile, I'm like, I just talk about anything I want in the world. Yeah.
But the one good thing about getting a head cold, if you get the kind of head cold that brings your voice way down, when you can do the Barry White, only when you're sick and you're like, how come I can't make my voice do this when I'm healthy? Well, you just can't. So
I'll do my Barry White impressions at 5:30 in the morning for about 12 minutes. Then I have to move on.
That's your warm up for the day.
See, brand new commenter on YouTube.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Leaf going, if that hadn't been used in Taxi, it would have been the intro to a soft porn movie on early Cinemax. Leaf off the top rope.
And you know what? That film, yes, I said film,
film, yes.
would be respected for that. It's a bold choice. It's a bold choice.
Leaf, that was beautiful. Thank you. The late Neil Peart, drummer for Rush, was born this day in 1952. Singer-songwriter Ben Folds is 59 years old today. Jennifer Nettles from Sugarland turns 51 years old today.
I don't wanna get up, baby, let's turn off the phone. I don't wanna.
She's got that kind of, if you took Reba McEntire and exaggerated it a little bit and like almost too much, she almost gets so far.
If you made Reba McEntire stay up real late and record.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. Emmy Rossum, actress, you know her from Shameless. She's 39 years old today. On this day in 1910, the country's first known female police officer, Alice Wells, was appointed by the LAPD. Again, that was this day back in 1910.
Woke.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Jennifer Hudson. She turns 44 years old today.
Well, I don't like leaving under your spotlight.
We've got Sydney Sweeney, who turns 28 years old today and has a new movie out today where she portrays a boxer. Let's see. Singer Kelsey Ballerini has a birthday today. She is 32.
Forgot who I was before I ever kissed you. Yeah, I thought I missed you, but I miss me more.
Oh, let's see. On the National Day calendar, this is Chocolate Milkshake Day.
Oh.
Approve. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I haven't had a good old-fashioned chocolate milkshake. I mean, I'll get one at McDonald's. Nothing against them or anything, but you know the kind I'm talking about. Where it's really rich and chocolatey.
The key is when they bring the steel can and pour it into
syrup.
the glass cup.
Oh yes, the canister. Yes.
Yeah, the canister. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way they used to do it. There used to be all these ice cream places like Bridgman's and Farrell's and other places like that, and we don't have a good ice cream joint like the way that we used to in a lot of places.
Yeah, and I think we've had this discussion before too. If there was one that would be open. Actually, there's a nice place in Racine actually down here downtown. There's
some like Olson's here in Chippewa Falls. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. But if that happened, it would just be a bougie, expensive deconstruction of a vanilla milkshake. That's $14.
Yes, there is that. I know. Let's see. This is National Day of Encouragement. So
Parker, go for it.
There you go. There's your encouragement for the day. It is, of course, National Policewoman Day. It's International Stand Up to Cancer Day. And then the one I wanted to pick Greg's brain on is this is National Video Game Day.
Yes.
And not for any particular reason. So it really should have been yesterday when we were talking about the Atari 2600.
Oh.
So now we get a call back to yesterday's conversation, drag Greg into it, whether he wants to or not. What was your history on video game consoles?
Disappointing, Pat, I must say. To this day, I feel very left out of the game. We had Atari, we had Coleco, we had Nintendo, and that was it. I mean, I have a PS3 at home. We never play it. I just don't have video games. Went from Super Mario Brothers, where I could solve it in like an hour, to now it's like games require 50 hours, 100 hours of play. I'm like, who can do that?
It's Pac-Man. It was so simple. You could be dead within 60 seconds. Pong. That's a real video game there.
Yeah.
Greg Bach is with us here. And in our next hour, we will, of course, have our weekend review panel. Live from the lake, you're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, powered by Up North News, here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Welcome back. Parker, what was your one job during the history lesson?
My one job during the history lesson? To play the music.
No, okay. What was your other job during the history lesson?
To be a good
Look
listener.
at the bottom of the screen, Parker.
Bottom of the screen. Oh, the entertainment.
No, the free ticket Friday. We forgot to do
Oh.
that in the history lesson.
Oh.
Anyway,
Catch.
CATCH.
Good catch,
Catch
Pat.
is the keyword. You have a keyword coming up later on Matt and Air on Air, Greg, don't you?
I do. We have a keyword coming up during our show. You're going to download the free Civic Media app, and then when I give you that keyword, like you've done for this show, you are going to type that word in, text it to us, text it in correctly, and you'll be in the running. Now, I have a question.
No, not text it incorrectly. Text it in correctly.
Text it in, comma, correctly.
Space.
My goodness.
It's early.
They're playing Anaheim, or they play?
They're playing the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim next Thursday night.
Not anymore.
No, they're not.
No.
What?
It's not of Anaheim anymore.
Whatever they are. Are they just now? What are they? The Los Angeles Angels now?
Yeah, now they're actually what you would think they would be. Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. See, I saw Los Angeles, and my apologies to anyone listening yesterday or earlier in the week.
Dodgers?
I was saying the Dodgers because
I
I just
was
saw
going to say
Los Angeles.
right, because in the instruction sheet it just says Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and you go look at the schedule. So there you go.
It is the Anaheim Angels.
I'll just change it to Angels.
Which, by the way, I must say, if you ever have the chance, the Anaheim Angels Stadium, which is just Anaheim Stadium, which I love. There's no sponsor name on there. It's a beautiful stadium. It's a great stadium to see baseball.
They got
Until the
that
earthquake
Disney
takes
money.
it down. Yeah, but
okay, wow, thanks. Thanks.
If I ever do get them, let's see the milkshake conversation. Oh, again, catch. That's the word till 9 a.m. Different keyword for Matt and Air on Air, and then more keywords throughout the day. More chances to win. Leaf talking about the milkshake day. Frost Stop Drive-In, Taylor's Falls. Still does carside delivery. Superb shake, $9 for a large. Roger says, I used to make my own chocolate milkshakes when I was younger and fill a 32-ounce tumbler.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Well, hey.
That's a lot.
Did you ever have an egg cream?
No, I have not. Some people rave about them, and
they're delicious when they're made correctly. Yeah, when they're made correctly, they're delicious.
Okay. So this is the part of the program that's brand new.
Ooh.
Brand new. This is where, do you watch TMZ at all, Greg?
No.
Do you ever watch TMZ?
I have a couple of friends who appear on there, so I'll watch it when they're on there, and I'll if I see clips on the internet. Have you heard of it? The internet? Yeah.
Well, the show is completely mindless celebrity news and entertainment. And part of the reason I like to watch it is somewhat reminiscent of our old TV newsroom in that, I mean, everybody was kicking stories around and having fun, kind of making fun of each other along the way. And, it's nice. They were pitching these stories to Harvey Levin, who would stand up on his soapbox there with his his little drink cup and then determine if the stories were good or bad, were going to get pitched or not.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to play the role of Harvey here, and young Mr. Olson is going to bring to us various entertainment stories, and we're going to determine if they become our entertainment story of the day.
Can we get this?
Oh, I don't have that. I'll pull that.
Okay. So in the area of entertainment and celebrity news, Mr. Olson, what do you want to put out there first as a potential best entertainment story of the day?
Well, we talked a lot about the Coldplay Kiss Cam, if you remember that whole saga.
I do.
There's been developments to the saga. Were you aware of this, Mr. Kreitlow?
I was not, Mr. Olson. Tell me more.
Well, TMZ, go figure.
Mm-hmm.
They have discovered that on that fateful summer night, the woman who was caught on camera allegedly having an affair with the CEO of her company, apparently her and her husband, she has a husband.
Yes, we
which
know.
I actually don't know if I remembered that or not. But turns out they were already getting a divorce before this happened. They were.
Yes.
That
would check out. I mean, if you're kind of on Splitsville, why wouldn't you have a fling with the boss, right?
But the CEO was married though, right?
Yes.
And the woman, apparently her husband has come out and been like, yeah, no, I don't care. We're getting divorced. We're filing. We're going our separate ways.
The soon-to-be ex-husband was not nearly as bothered as the soon-to-be ex-wife, because the soon-to-be ex-wife did not know that she was a soon-to-be ex-wife until a much more recent event happened in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
So, all right. There's our Coldplay Kiss Cam development.
Yes.
You got one more for us?
Oh, sure. Did you? So Floyd Mayweather.
Sell it, buddy.
Floyd Mayweather, if you remember the boxer, he can't put the gloves down, and neither can Mike Tyson, apparently.
No.
What?
No.
Yeah. The legendary boxers will, despite their age,
swing their walkers at each other.
They will be fighting each other at some time next year. Mayweather is 48, Tyson is 59, and that's not much younger than Pat. So this begs the question, Pat.
Wow.
When will you get in the ring?
Yeah.
And who are you fighting?
Will it be someone roughly your age, or will it be someone much, much, much younger, like Jake Paul was doing?
Oh, no. That wouldn't be happening at all. And especially, my arm, I think it's broken. I don't think I can do this. I don't know. Let me think about it here. Greg, if you had to pick one of those stories as your story of the day, would you pick one of those?
I would pick I would pick the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson. I would just ask, would their gloves be covered in the paperwork that held their assault charges?
There. That's why we bring Greg Bach in
from
for
the
this.
top rope.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bach. One more entertainment note. Garth Brooks has added a second.
Brooks.
Yeah, your brother. Garth Brooks has added a second Milwaukee show at the American Family Amphitheater on the Summerfest grounds. The June 17th show will now be preceded by a June 16th show. Basically, now a 2-night warm-up party for Summerfest that'll kick off June 18th and run for 3 weekends.
I think I'm going.
Which one?
Don't care. Either one. Both. If I have the money, both.
That's right. That's how it works. Thank you, Mr. Bach. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a lovely, lovely day and weekend as well.
You bet. Our weekend review panel is coming up next. I'm Pat Kreitlow. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.